chapter number 2, solutions. Okay, the chapter which we are going to discuss today is solutions. Okay, so solutions. So what is basically a solution? So if we see solutions, okay, what does it means? A solution is nothing but it is a homogeneous, okay, okay, it is a homogeneous mixture of two or more. Solution is nothing but a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. So okay, two or more substances whose compositions varies within the certain limit. Okay, within the certain limit. Okay, so what is the solutions? Basically, solution is what? It is a homogeneous mixture of composition of two or more substances whose compositions varies within the certain limit. What does it means? Homogeneous mixture means what? Let's understand with a very simple example. Let us say that this is a beaker. In this beaker we have a solution of sugar and water. Okay, what solution it is? It is solution of sugar plus water. Got it? This is a solution of sugar and water. Another beaker we have taken, and another beaker also we have a what? Sugar and water solutions. Okay, water plus sugar solutions. Okay, now what we will do, suppose this, in this solutions number 1, this is 1 and this is 2. Suppose in solution number 1 we have taken out the water, the solutions from here, and we tested it. For example, I'm telling you, we have tested it, taken out the solutions from here and we tested, and we found that here the composition of this solution is, you can say 70% is water, okay, and 30% is what? 30% is sugar. Okay, the solutions which we have taken from the top layer, it contains 70% water and 30% sugar. Another one we have taken here, we have taken some solutions from the bottom and we checked it again. We found that here the composition is what? 70% and 30%. Okay, so here also water is what? 70%. The content of the solutions here is 70% water and 30% what? Sugar. Got it? So we can conclude that this solution is what? Homogeneous mixture. Why? Because the composition of this solution is same everywhere. We have tested the solutions, we have taken the sample from these portions. We found that 70% water was there and 30% what is the sugar particles are there. Okay, again we have taken the composition from the bottom and we have taken the solutions from the bottom, and we found that water composition is still same, 70:30. So this kind of solutions or this kind of mixtures, we call it as what? Homogeneous. Okay, basically homogeneous means the compositions remain same throughout the solutions. That is the meaning of homogeneous. Okay, homogeneous solution means what? Compositions remain same throughout the solutions. Got it? So this is an homogeneous mixture. Suppose another beaker, we have taken the sample, we have collected the sample of solution from here. We tested, we found 70 is water, 70% is water and 30% is what? 30% sugar here. Now we have taken the sample from this beaker, the solutions, and we found that here 60% is water and 40% is sugar solutions. Sugar and this is water. Got it? So in this beaker 2, you have see in that solution number 2, the compositions is different. In the upper layer, the water composition is more and water content is more and sugar content is less. Whereas in the bottom portion of the solution, we see that sugar composition is more and it is 40% and water composition is only 60%. That means in the same solutions, the compositions of or the ratio of water and the sugar varies. Here it is different, right? So this kind of solutions we call it as what? Heterogeneous solutions. Okay, heterogeneous solutions are those in which heterogeneous solutions are those in which compositions of the solutions varies. Got it? So homogeneous solution is what? Homogeneous solutions are nothing but are those solutions in which the compositions remain same throughout the mixture. Whereas heterogeneous means the composition changes. Okay, different compositions will be there at different level of the solutions. So this kind of mixtures we call it as heterogeneous, and this one we call it as homogeneous. Now, dear students, I feel that what is heterogeneous and homogeneous, it is clear. Okay or not? So you can pause the video and you can take it down. Okay. Now this solution, it is made up of which two substances? It is made up of sugar and it is made up of water. Okay or not? This solution is made up of sugar and water. So this one we call it as what? The substances with which the solutions is made up of, they are called as what? Component. So sugar components. Got it? So these solutions components are what? Sugar and water. Got it or not? Understood? So what is component? Component is nothing but the substances with which the particular mixture or the solution is made up of. They are called as components. Okay? Clear? Okay. Next, we are going to discuss how many types of components are there. Okay? This chapter is very easy and you will get a good number of questions in your board examinations also. So I feel like you should try to understand it properly. Okay. Now components are different types of components are there. So we'll write here types of components. Components. Okay. Type of components are there. Okay. So types of component, it depends on what? It depends on number of components. Okay, types of component, it depends on number of components. For example, the first one is binary solutions. Types of solutions, you can say type of solutions, it depends upon the number of components. So binary solutions. In binary solutions, you will see there will be two components. Okay, two component means example of sugar and water. Okay, sugar plus water. So this is what? Binary solutions. Why binary solutions? Because one component is sugar and another component is what? Water. So this is called as binary solutions. Okay. Second, we call it as ternary solutions. So ternary solution means here there will be three components. Three components will be there. Got it? Three components will be there. In these three components, always remember one thing. Okay. Solvent will be one. Okay. Solvent is one and plus two solutes will be there. Okay. Solvent will always be one. Okay. Got it or not? Solvent will be one and two solutes will be there. So total is how much? 3. So this kind of solutions we call it as what? Ternary solutions. Okay. Got it? Okay. Fine. Like milk, water and sugar, or sugar, salt and water. So these are all examples of what? Ternary solutions. Why? Because we have three components. Okay, water, sugar and salt. So they will be they will fall under which category? ternary solutions. Third one, we call it as quaternary solutions. Ternary solutions. Okay. So quaternary solutions means what? There will be 4 components. Okay. Means it will be made up of 4 substances. Okay or not? So they are called as what? Quaternary components. In quaternary components, you will find there will be 1 solvent and 3 solutes will be there. Dear students, you should remember one thing. Solvent will always be 1. Only number of solutes will be different. Maybe 2, 3, 4 like that. But solvent, it will always be 1 in all type. Binary, ternary, quaternary, everywhere you will be seeing that solvent will be only 1. Solute will be different numbers will be there in that. Okay, so in our syllabus, class 12, we are going to study about binary solutions. Okay, so hope you have understood. You can take it down. Then we shall move on to the next. Okay, so pause the video and take it down. Next, we are going to discuss about binary solutions. Okay. Okay. Hope all of you are doing well, studying well, properly. Okay. So now, binary solutions. Okay. Binary solutions are generally referred as solute and solvent. Got it? In binary solutions, okay, we generally binary solutions are generally referred as what? Solute and solvent. Okay. So now let us understand what is solute and what is solvent. See, solutes are the substances. In simple way, I am telling you, solute are the substances which are present in larger quantity. Okay, larger quantity. Solute are the substances which are present in larger quantity in a solutions. So for time being, we are going to study. This is not 100%, it is not valid, but in the most of the cases it is valid. Okay, some exceptions are there. That one also we will see it in the later part of the chapter. So solutes are what? Solutes are the substances which are present in larger, which are present in small quantity. Small quantity or lesser quantity. You can say lesser quantity will be the most appropriate word. So it is present in a lesser quantity in a solutions, like sugar and water solutions. What is present? Water, it is present in larger quantity, whereas sugar, it is present in what? Small quantity. So here sugar will be called as what? Solute. Okay. Next, solvent. Solvent are the substances. Okay, solvent are the substances which are present in larger quantity. Okay, larger quantity in a solutions. So here, which one is present in a larger quantity? Whose quantity is more, water or sugar? So water. So water will be called as what? Solvent. I hope this basic idea concept is clear. Okay, binary solutions generally it is referred as solute and solvent. We have two parts, solute and solvent components. So that solute is what? Solutes are the substances which are present in a lesser quantity in a solution, like sugar and water solution. You have sugar as a solute, and solvent are the substances which are present in a larger quantity in a solutions, like water solvent. Okay, fine. So this point is clear, I suppose. Okay, so you can take it down. Next, we are going to see some of the examples of binary solutions in gases, liquid and solid. Okay, got it? So we'll write here, we'll make a table, solute. Okay, then another one is solvent here, and these are the common examples. Okay, common examples. Okay, so solute, solvent, and common examples. First of all, we are going to see in a gaseous form. Okay, for the gaseous solutions. Okay, this is gaseous solutions. We are going to deal with gaseous solutions. So in the gaseous solutions, definitely the solute is gas. Okay, and the solvent is also gas. We are taking the first case in which solute is also gas and solvent is also gas. Got it or not? Like you can say, mixture of, example will be what? Mixture of gases in air. Got it? Here solute also will be what? Gases, and solvent also will be gases. Like mixture of nitrogen and oxygens. Mixture of, you can say in a specific manner, nitrogens and oxygens. Okay, so nitrogen's the quantity is more and oxygen the quantity is less. So this is an example of what? Gaseous solutions in which solute is also gas and solvent is also gas. Got it? Okay. Next we are going to discuss liquid. Solvent is liquid, solute is liquid, and solvent is gas. In gaseous solution, solvent will always be gas. Okay. So liquid and gases. The best example for liquid and gases is water vapor in air. Okay. Water vapor in air. Got it? So water vapor in air, that is humidity. Okay. So here water vapor is what? Liquid. Okay. And air is what? Gas. So air is present in a larger quantity, water vapor is present in a smaller quantity. So this is an example of what? Liquid solute and gas solvent. Got it? So this is also an example of gaseous solutions. Okay. Next one, we are going to see solute is solid. Solute will change. Solvent is all gases only in the gaseous solutions. So gas. So you can say that dust particles present in the air. Dust particles. Okay. Particles in air. Dust particles in air. So air is the solvent here. Gas. Okay. And this is our solute. That is solid. Got it? Understood? So solid is the solute and gas is the solvent. So dust is solid and air is gas. So these two are mixture which is present in the air. That is also an example of what? Gaseous solutions. So dear students, hope that gaseous solutions examples are clear. Okay. If you want, you can note it down. Okay. Sometimes it can be asked in your exam as well. So you make the table properly. Okay. Don't make rough and tough like me. Okay. Try to make it properly in the notebook and take it down. Okay. Okay. Fine. So you can pause the video and take it down. Moving on to the next. Next we are going to discuss about liquid solutions. Okay. Liquid solutions. Okay. So liquid solutions. Liquid solutions. So here solvent will be liquid and the solute may be different types. So let's first take solvent solute as gas and solvent will be liquid. Okay. Now the best example for this is what? Oxygen dissolved in water. Okay. So oxygen dissolved in water. Got it? So oxygen dissolved in water or carbon dioxide dissolved in water. So this is present in a smaller quantity. So this one will be solute and your solvent is liquid. That is water. Solvent. Okay. Hope it is clear there, students. Examples. Okay. Next we will take liquid. Solute is liquid. Solvent is also liquid. Solute also liquid. Solute is liquid. Solvent also liquid. The best example for ethanol dissolves in water. Or you can say, yeah, ethanol dissolves in water. Dissolves in water. Got it? So here ethanol is what? Solute. Water is what? Solvent. Got it? So this is an example of liquid in liquid solutions. Okay, so ethanol dissolves in water. Ethanol is also liquid, water is also liquid, so this solution is known as liquid solutions. Okay, next, solid liquid solutions. Solid in liquid. Solid and liquid solutions, you can say the sucrose or the salt in water. The best example is salt in water. So here salt is what? Solid, and it is what? Solute. It is present in lesser quantity. Water is what? Solvent, that is liquid or solvent. Okay, got it? So these are the three examples of liquid solution: gases in liquid, liquid in liquid, solid in liquid. All these examples are there. Okay, dear students, so you can take it down. Okay, now we'll move on to the last type of solutions, solid solutions. Okay. Okay, fine. Since we are running short of time, okay, because your exam is approaching, so we need to cover up the chapters quickly. So next type is what? Sorry, I have rubbed it all the table also. So solvent, here it is, and this is the examples. Okay. So next type of solutions we are going to see solid solutions. Solid solution is also there. So let's see that. Okay. Solid solution, the first one, the solute is gas and the solvent is solid. So the best example for that is, you can say that the solutions of palladium. Solutions of, okay, hydrogen in palladium. Hydrogen in palladium. Palladium. Okay, so solutions of hydrogens in palladium. So this is an example of what? Solid solution. Palladium is solid, hydrogen is a gas. So hydrogen, here it will be solute, and this one will be solvent. Okay, next type of examples we are going to see liquid in solid. Liquid in solid. Okay, liquid in solid, the best example is mercury with sodium. Okay, mercury with sodium. Okay, so sodium is what here? Solvent, and mercury is what? Solute. Okay, the last one is what? Solid in solid ka example. Solid in solid solutions. Example is what? Copper dissolves in gold. Okay, copper dissolved in gold. Sometimes you will see a duplicate gold, you are getting it in which the credit, in which the gold quality will be very poor. That kind of gold is what? Nothing but it's an example of what? Copper dissolves in gold, because in those golds they are added with the copper. Okay, got it or not? So those are nothing but example of solid in solid solutions. So dear students, different types of solution, it is clear. I hope I have given you the simplest examples. You just need to remember it. Okay, fine. So you can pause the video and take it down. Okay, okay, now we are going to see method for expressing the concentrations. Next we are going to see method for expressing the concentration of solutions. Okay, so we are going to see what are the different methods through which we can express the concentration of a solutions. Okay, got it? So the first method is, okay, mass percentage. Okay, or we call it as volume percentage. Yeah, so this is called as mass percentage or volume percentage. Okay, this method, it is called as mass percentage or volume percentage. Now let us first consider, okay, if I let Okay, let the mass of component, let A represents the solvent, let A represents the okay, okay, let A represents the solvent and B represents the solute. Then what we are doing, let mass of A be WA and mass of B be WB. Okay, we are going to use this symbol, so you should remember it. Okay, we are denoting A represents the solvent, okay, and B represents the solute. We are going to do that. Okay, then the mass of A will be represented as WA and mass of B will be represented as WB. So mass percentage formula is what? Very simple. It is mass percentage. It is equals to, okay, mass of a solute, okay, or mass of a, suppose I am calculating the mass percentage of A. Suppose I am calculating the mass percentage of A, that is mass percentage of A. A means what? Solvent. So if I am calculating the mass percentage of a solvent, I will write it as what? WA by mass of a solvent by total mass. Total mass will be what? WA plus WB into 100%. That is how we used to find out the percentage, right? Suppose if I am calculating the mass percentage of B, that is solute, then how it will be written as? WB by WA plus WB into 100%. So this is how we calculate the mass percentage. Okay, got it? Now if you are calculating the volume percentage or volume percentage one also, you can write it in the same manner. Volume percentage of A, that is solvent. I am writing it in because right now we have just started the consideration, so I am writing it so that you don't get confused. But later on I will not be writing that A is solvent. You have to understand. Okay, so volume percentage of A, that is solvent, will be equal to volume of A by total volume A plus volume B into 100%. Okay, so volume percentage of A, that is solvent, equals to VA by VA plus VB into 100%. Okay, fine. So next, if I want to calculate the volume percentage of solute, then it will be volume percentage of B. It will be equals to what? Solute equals to VB by VA plus VB into 100%. Okay, dear students, so hope you are understanding it. Okay, so this is the formula for calculating mass percentage, volume percentage. Okay, so you may pause the video and take it down. Okay, okay, fine, so take it down. Okay, okay, fine. Sometimes we express, okay, note you can write it. Sometimes we express mass dash volume percentage, volume percentage, and we represent it as like this, M by V. Okay, that means what? Mass volume percentage. Okay, what does it mean? It means that in this in this case mass will be, solvent का mass will be given WA and solute will be given as VA. Got it or not? So this is called as what? Mass volume percentage, and it is represented as V by A. What does it mean? It means that the mass of a solute dissolved in 100 ml of solutions. Okay, this means mass of a solute, okay, mass of solute dissolves in 100 ml of, okay, mass by volume, mass by volume percentage, mass by volume, okay, mass of solute dissolves in 100 ml of solutions. Got it or not? That means here mass of the solute will be given and it will be dissolved 100 ml of a solutions. Got it or not? So mass will be written as WA, volume will be written as the VA, then the symbol will be M by V. Okay, so those cases you should understand it. Okay, so this is a special note. Next we are going to write it as what? The second type of method for expressing the concentration is 2 parts per million. Okay, parts per million, parts per million. Okay, so how we express this parts per million? Suppose if I am going to find out, it is represented as ppm. Okay, so if I am going to find out parts per million for solvent, then we will be writing as parts per million A equals to what? We will be writing it, we will be writing it as mass of component A, that is WA into WA plus WB into 10 to the power 6. Okay, parts per million, million is 10 to the power 6 it will be. Okay, 10 lakhs, right? Okay, next if I want to find out the ppm of B, then it will be written as WA by WA plus WB into 10 to the power 6. So this is called as parts per million. Okay, got it, dear students? Okay, this basically this method of expressing the concentration is used for recording the, okay, this is used for recording the air quality. Okay, air quality, okay, of a place. Got it or not? So this method, that is very small quantity, it is parts per millions. Okay, it is basically microscopic things, so we basically use for recording the air quality of a particular place. This is a unit of air quality. When we are recording the air quality and all, how much pollutant particles are present in the air, that one when we are recording we use this unit ppm. This method is used. Okay, dear students? Okay, fine. So let's take down some questions, small questions, numerical problems. Let us take it down and then we shall move to the next type. Okay, suppose if it is given, if 11 gram, okay, of a oxalic acid, 11 gram of oxalic acid, okay, are dissolved in 500 ml, are dissolved in 500 ml. Okay, 11 gram of oxalic acids are dissolved in 500 ml of a solutions, okay. Density is given here, density equals to 1.1 gram per milliliter. Okay, then they are telling us what is the mass percentage of oxalic in a solutions. What is the Mass percentage, very easy question. Mass percentage of oxalic in a solutions. Okay, so this is the question on mass percentage. So how we'll be doing? Okay, so first of all we will find out the mass of the solutions. Mass of the solutions. How to find out mass? Mass formula is what? Volume into density. So volume is given how much? This is always considered as the volume. This dissolving 500 ml, so the volume of a solution. So 500 into density is 1.1. Okay, so it will comes to 550 grams. Okay, got it? 550 grams is the mass of the solutions. Then what is the mass of oxalic acid? Mass of a solutions, that means what? It is Wa plus Wb. Got it? Mass of a solutions. Then mass of oxalic acid. So here oxalic acid is what? Solute, present in a small quantity, so it will be solute. So we'll write it Wb equals to how much? It is given 11 gram. Simple. Now we can calculate the mass percentage. Therefore mass percentage of B, mass percentage of B equals to, it will be what? Wb by Wa plus Wb into 100%. That is what our formula is. I have given you the formulas. Okay, so if we do so, we'll write here 11, and this one it will be 550 grams into 100. Okay, 0 0 cancel, 11 1 11, 11 5 is 5 2 is. So what is the percentage of oxalic acid? What is the percentage of oxalic acid in this given solutions? Oxalic acid is only 2% in the given solutions. So this is how, dear students, we will be finding out the questions. We will be working out on the questions related to mass percentage. Okay, got it, dear students? Okay, so you can pause the video and take it down. Now next we are going to discuss a very important thing which generally comes in your exams, even the definitions as well as numericals on this it is asked. Okay, got it? Okay, so the next we are going to discuss is the third term is molarity of a solutions. Okay, molarity of a solutions. So it is the number of moles of solute dissolved per liter of a solution. It is defined as the number of solute dissolved per volume of a solutions, per liter of the solutions, Got it? That means what? How much solutes can be dissolved in 1 liter of a solution, that is called as the molarity of the solutions. Okay or not? Like in 1 liter water, how much sugar I can dissolve with 5 gram, 2 gram, 10 grams, how much I can dissolve, that one we will call it as what? Molarity of a solutions. Okay, now molarity of a solutions, how it is written? Okay, molarity of a solutions, basically how do we write? So molarity basically, okay, it is represented by capital M and its unit is molar. Okay, the unit of molarity is, we call it as molar, and it is represented by capital M, or we call it as molar M, capital M, or we write it as what? Mole per liter. Another thing is also there, mole per liter. So this is, it is represented by M and its unit is molar, okay, or we call it as mole per liter. So this is the information related to molarity. Now mathematically, how do we express it? Let us see. Okay, so mathematically we will express like this: molarity M equals to, okay, molarity equals to moles of solute, number of moles of a solute, okay, moles of solute, that is B, okay, by, okay, moles of a solute by volume of a solutions, volume of a solutions in liter, okay, volume of a solution in liter, volume of a solutions in liter. It is represented as moles of a solute, that is, we can write it as like this also: number of moles of solute, okay, or you can write B, okay, by volume of a solutions in liter, volume of a solution in liter. Suppose in some cases you will see that the volume of a solution, it will be given in ml or centimeter cube. In those cases, what you will write: M equals to number of moles of solute by volume of a solution V in ml. If it is given, then you have to multiply it by 1000, because 1 centimeter cube is equals to 1000. Got it? 1 liter is equals to 1 liter equals to 1000 centimeter cube. Got it? So this is the formula, mathematical expressions. Mathematically, molarity equals the number of moles of solute by volume in a solution into thousands. Okay, got it? Okay, dear students, so you might have got it. Okay, now how to find out the number of moles of a solute? So number of moles, finding out formulas, I will write it. Number of moles of a solute is equals to, formula is mass of a solute by molar mass of a solute. Mass of a solute, okay, by molar mass, okay, by molar mass of a solute, okay, mass of a solute by molar mass of a solute. This is the formula to find your NB. Okay, similarly we will find out Na also. So number of moles, how will we be finding out? Mass of a solute by molar mass of a solute. That one, these two, if you divide, you will get number of moles of solute. Okay, similarly we can find out number of moles of solvent also. Okay, so pause the video and take it down.